So it looks like we have a quorum. I'd like to call the meeting to order and do a roll call real quick. Commissioners online. James, are you online?
I'm here.
Mr. Sutter. And Commissioner Foster here. We have three commissioners today. Chief Fulton, I see you're on. Great to see you.
It's great to be seen. Looking forward to the meeting. Thank you.
I gave you a second there to find out mute button, probably.
Much appreciated.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Approval of minutes. The minutes were passed, and can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
Second.
Thanks, James. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. Now we're gonna open it up for comments from the public. Any comments? Anyone? Just, you can use the raise your hand option on the screen, or you can just speak up if you can't find that option. Is there any hands? It doesn't look like there's any comments from the public. No hands raised. Chief, you got something?
I do. Thank you. I just want to take a moment to give a shout out and a huge thank you. We've had our fire academy that's in week 1.5 right now, and a lot of hard work from Gracie and Stephanie in particular. So I just want to say thank you. Very appreciative of the partnership, of the collaboration, the communications, and they just do an amazing job. And folks are always quick to point out things that go wrong, but don't often enough take the time to say thank you. So I just want to say thank you on behalf of the Denver Fire Department, myself. We greatly appreciate everyone there in that capacity and all they do for us day in and day out.
Well, thank you. It's very nice of you to say that. And these folks, we work very hard. And there's a lot of things that they do that we don't realize to make sure that these academies are full with the right caliber of candidates so that we can fulfill our mission here in the city. So really appreciate you pointing that out.
Thank you, sir.
Any other public comments? See hands raised. Ready. All right. So no further comments from the public. We'll move on to the commissioner calendar. Brandon, you want to jump in here?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Can you all hear me?
Yep.
All right. Starting off the conclusion of our October calendar, we will have physical agility on the 17th of this month. And then from the 18th to the 21st.
Sorry, Brandon, we're not seeing the calendar.
Oh, can you not see the calendar? I'm sorry. How about now?
Yes, sir.
There we go.
All right. So starting over, we have our physical agility on October 17th at the Police Academy. And then from the 18th to the 21st, some of our team will be joining others at the International Association of Chief Police at the Denver Convention Center. And then on October 22nd, we will have our second commission meeting for the month. And then our physical agility on the 27th of October. Going into November, we will have our commission meeting on the 12th, as well as a community connect at the Center for African American Health at 3550 Hudson Street. It is a meet and greet with the commissioners and the community. On the 26th of November, we will have our second commission meeting for the month. And then going into December so far, we just have our commission meeting for the 10th. That does conclude our calendar for those 3 months, and dates are subject to be changed. Thank you all.
Thanks, Brandon. Appreciate that. There's no board updates at this point in time. So we'll move directly to Gracie and the executive director report.
Thank you.
Next week.
City All right, good afternoon, everybody. So we just wanted to provide a quarterly update on the application timeline for police entry level. Throughout the year, I've been reporting on the timeline, and as we've improved and enhanced our reporting ability, work with Workday, we've been more transparent in providing information as to how long it takes in between processes, and from application all the way to final offer. Just a caveat, we're still working on enhancing the reports. We're still working closely with Workday, so some of them is not as on point as the previous reporting because we're still trying to figure out that component. But in April of 23, in April of this year, we reported that the application to conditional offer took about 128 days. And the application to hire was an average of 156 days. And then on July, that was around the time we had the opportunity to pull the roster for 25-2 Academy. So we reported a much more detailed timeline, so you can see application all the way to the commission deliberation and endorsement of candidate names to EDOS. So that's practically the time span where we've done everything that we needed to do to pre-qualify or to qualify applicants for police entry level and lateral. And so it took about 125 days. And as you can see, we were able to then figure out the average days per process, right? Or for between each hiring step. Now we pulled the report on October 1st, and you will see that between application date through the completion of background investigation, it takes about an average of 114 days. And this is across all of the requisitions that we've worked with for 2025 for police. And then from application all the way between conditional offer to final offer is 178 days. Now we have to keep in mind that we opened the requisition in January. So that's a factor that can add, right? It's a continuous requisition. So that has also sort of the candidate behavior, how soon they complete each hiring step, they follow through on scheduling. So that's one factor, or that's the second factor. The other factor is that we also experience sort of abrasion in our, in our scheduling for polygraph because our vendor was getting behind. And so we also experienced volume towards the end of the first into the second quarter of this year, we were processing 3 requisitions with the same amount of vendors, right? So we had increased volume. So that adds up to some of those timelines. But then at the same time, again, keep in mind some of the application dates date back on January and February. And then those who acted quickly and we were able to get through the process came into 25-1. So their application timeline is a little bit shorter. And then the others, as it gradually gets into later in the year, you will see that. So it's sort of a moving target, but our hope is to land in a good average time frame. I don't feel like the 170, and also too, there was a point in time where when we endorsed the name to safety for selection, they also had to work through some of the decision-making strategies that they had. So there was a period where the candidates sort of waited in maybe a longer period than desired. But that's all because we want to make sure, as our partners in police also wants to make sure that the decision-making strategies and process improvement strategies are sound. So I think we've landed on a better process towards the end. In fact, right now, December is when Academy 25-3 will start, and we already have 43 in process.
Okay.
So, I feel optimistic that we would be able to fill 25-3, and these timelines are just a healthy way for us to monitor how we're doing. It's not the end all and be all of our process, and certainly I believe based on the candidate experience feedback, we're doing better in the effective communication piece. And I think sometimes a lengthy process and a robust exam process does not provide candidates a negative experience if we're able to supplement that with, effective communication, transparent and clear messages. So I think we're tackling it in a holistic way. And so I just wanted to present this.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic. I think at the end of the day, look, we want it to be shorter. We want to get the right candidates, but as long as you're to communicate along the way with those candidates, what I hear is they just want to know. And if you're working really hard to communicate with them, then that's wonderful. And that's going to keep the satisfaction scores higher because they feel like they understand the process and they know where they're at in it. So thank you for doing that.
Awesome. And next slide, please. I wanted to just give a shout out and congratulations to the entire civil service team because of all of our process improvement efforts and just listening to our candidates and our stakeholders and our partners. That's really I am super proud of this award. But Denver Peak awarded us with a Voice of Customer / Community Collaboration Award for our police hiring process. So this is an award for all of us who work tirelessly in ensuring that we give it all our best. We've always done so, but I think now more than ever to gain this recognition, it just shows that we are independent. However, we cannot work, in silo against our candidates, our partners. So thank you to Denver Peak for giving us this recognition, but more so I just wanted to congratulate every member of our team and all our partners because this is definitely an achievement.
This is a big deal. So, congratulations to all of you. And it takes everyone pulling in the same direction and focused and aligned on what the goals are that we're trying to achieve. And I know you don't do it for awards, right? And awards don't pay your mortgage payments and your rent payments. But it is great.
Yeah, it doesn't pay for takeout, right?
It doesn't pay for takeout. But it's greatly, the effort is greatly appreciated. And we can't do what we do without the hard work from the team. So really appreciate you.
Yeah, I would just say, I know Chief Fulton said this earlier, but, a lot of times the negatives get highlighted, right? And this is really exciting. And I just want to say that you guys have been working your butts off, and it's definitely recognized by the commission and recognized broadly in the city and beyond that. You guys are doing really, really great stuff. And, I've been on the commission for 4 years or something like
Happy
that.
4th year anniversary.
Yeah, 4 years. And I feel like I've never felt that we could be a model for other places. And I think we're getting really, really close to that. So I'm really, really proud of you guys doing awesome work.
Well, and part of it is the great partners that we have, right? And really reestablishing and deepening our connections and communication with those folks. So, everyone in this room, yes, but everyone on this call, that's servicing the citizens of Denver, thank you as well for helping us get here. So we appreciate you as well.
And then we have a couple of our recruiting partners. We have Janessa and Nate and they tirelessly come to physical agility tests to make sure that it is set up, little things like that. And Chief Dodge, Lieutenant Aldridge never fails to really communicate what they're seeing in our reports, and are we being thoughtful in what we're giving them so that they can make informed decisions. And then of course you have Lieutenant Kampion from the training department, always ready to provide feedback on how the recruits are doing in the academy, because that's kind of like our test, right? Also, how are they doing in the job? And of course, Chief Fulton and everybody else, and Chief Fulton, Chief Thomas, and everybody else. I'm just really happy that the feedback had been super respectful, super professional, super kind, but at the same time, also actionable. So really appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, I tell all the folks I work with all the time, if you have partners and folks that you work with that love you enough and care enough, give you great feedback that helps you grow, that you need to embrace that, right? And you need to be grateful for that. Sometimes feedback doesn't always feel good, but it helps us get better from that standpoint. So.
Thank you. That is all the director's report I have today.
Thank you for that. All righty, let's move on to culture and engagement with Ally.
Yes.
Brandon, do you have that presentation? Awesome. Okay, so I'm here to talk to you about our culture and engagement survey. Could you move to the next slide, please? So the Civil Service Commission is implementing a culture and engagement survey within our agency. And I know engagement surveys are a pretty popular term, but in case anyone isn't familiar with the definition, it's just essentially how connected our employees feel to our work, mentally and emotionally. And so the city does currently have an engagement survey, but we wanted to add a supplemental survey specifically targeted at the Civil Service Commission. It's going to allow us to track key elements of the employee experience, monitor burnout risk, uncover barriers to performance, and give employees a voice in shaping our culture. And we will be using the Gallup 12 survey. Could you go to the next slide? Thank you. Okay. So the Gallup 12 is one of the most widely used engagement surveys in the world. It's designed to measure psychological needs that drive employee engagement and job satisfaction. So it's been tested in hundreds of organizations and industries, including government agencies. Studies have shown this test is valid and can be generalized across industries, meaning that this survey will work for our agency, even if it isn't specifically tailored to us. And we decided to use this survey instead of making our own, just because there's so much established evidence supporting its validity and reliability. And so the Gallup 12 measures 4 levels of psychological needs. And so you have your basic needs, which is concrete resources like equipment and materials, and also intangible things like understanding the expectations of your job. And these basic needs need to be met for employees to successfully do their job. The second is individual contribution, which refers to recognition or praise for doing one's work and allowing employees to leverage their personal strengths. The third is teamwork, which focuses on connection, collaboration, and feeling valued as part of your team. And then finally, we have growth needs, which focuses on learning, development, feedback, and professional progress. Next slide, please. Okay, so we have, it's in the name, there are 12 survey items. And these are there's 12 statements, then the employees are gonna have to rate on a scale of 1 to 5 how much they agree with each statement. So items 1 and 2 assess those basic needs. Those statements are, I know what is expected of me at work, and I have the equipment I need to do my work right. Items 3 through 6 measure individual contribution, so that at work I have the opportunity to do what I do best every day. In the last 7 days, I've received recognition or praise for doing good work. My supervisor or someone at work seems to care about me as a person. And there's someone at work who encourages my development. Items 7 through 10 measure teamwork. So those are, at my work, my opinion seems to count. The mission or purpose of my company makes me feel my job is important. My associates or fellow employees are committed to doing quality work, and I have a best friend at work. And then items 11 and 12 measure growth. And so that is in the last 6 months, someone at work has talked to me about my progress. And this last year, I've had opportunities at work to learn and grow. Next slide, please. Okay. So all civil service employees are invited to participate in the engagement survey, which includes our full-time staff and our on-call remote background investigators. The city doesn't typically extend their engagement survey to our background investigators, but they're just as much a part of our team as these full-time staff, so their voices deserve to be heard. This survey will also be anonymous, and we won't collect any identifying information, such as names, emails, or employee IDs. Next slide, please. So the survey will be open for 2 weeks in November, from November 17th through the 30th, and the results will be analyzed at the beginning of December. Does anyone have any questions?
So I also wanted to add, the reason we wanted to sort of implement our internal cultures engagement survey, right? That would be supplemental to what the city does. The city does a really good package. I did get the report for last year, but it gives the whole city But as the executive director, I would like to be able to really focus on what I can do better as well, and what we can all do better to improve the culture within our immediate organization. But we need to be careful because, you know, sometimes these surveys, like people have this perception of it's not, you know, it's not anonymous, everybody gets, you know, surveys like this gets a bad rap. So we wanted to implement something that is nationally and widely recognized, such as the Gallup 12, well established, and the questions are not subjective. They're basically asking very simple questions as to, do people have what they need at work? You know, I think that as the executive director, as the commission, we need to ensure our employees have their basic needs met at work. And if the survey says we don't, then that's an opportunity for us to look at what resources we can to ensure that they are provided what they need. But it also goes into like, have you been praised? I think, you know, appreciation at work is important, and I know that I can do better in that regard. So I think that that's really important for us to create a culture where good work is appreciated, and appreciation is given, you know, not just at select times. So this is just something we want to implement to see where we're at, and then we can take a look at what the results are, and from there we can see, because now we've focused this year so much on our process improvements, right? So then as we move into the next year, I hope that, you know, the goal is to still continue on the process improvements, but part of that is on the relationship building and improving the culture and seeing what else our team members need, because at the end of the day, their hard work gets us to the goal of improved processes and improved outcomes. So it's about taking care of them for the next year.
Good. Yeah, I think this is fantastic. Thank you for that. It's amazing. I think that the biggest, the best indicator of building trust is when we put these surveys out and people respond to them, and then they see actual change, right? When they actually see it and feel it, that's when the trust really just blows up, right? It's fantastic in that perspective, but we got to give them an opportunity to talk to us, right? And I love the fact that you're involving one of the key pieces of our organization, which is the background investigators. So thank you for that. Was there anything else there? Okay, great. All right. Dylan, we want to move on to the recruitment dashboard.
Sure thing. Brandon, could you pull that up, please? All right, so we're just going to take a brief couple of minutes here to discuss the Civil Service Commission's Q3 recruitment activity updates. Next slide, please. So I'm just going to preface the information that we're about to share by saying that our Denver Police entry-level job requisition closed in July, and that we've continued to process applications that were received up until June 30th of this year. Since then, we've been working to process those individuals after getting them through the complete hiring process or wherever they fall out, depending on if they've been disqualified or not. And I would also like to add that we've opened no new job requisitions for Denver Fire or EMTs, and that we continue to process candidates for those population as well to endorse them to eligible registers for our current and future academies as well. Next slide, please. So with that being said, as promised a few months ago, we have continued to offer quarterly updates for our entry-level recruitment activity that has now been uploaded to the CSC website. We've now embedded it with Power BI into the homepage for a more interactive experience. So now when people visit the webpage, they can actually hover their mouse over that information to get some more detailed numbers and categories. I'd also like to add as well that given that this is public facing, all of the underlying data contained in those dashboards is merely just counts of those demographic categories. There's no personally identifiable information linking back to any individuals that are included within these statistics. Great. So next slide, please, Brandon. Oh, that's interesting. Well, it was not supposed to be shrunk like this, but
I think Brendan can zoom in. Are you able to zoom in, Brendan? Right there.
There we go. Perfect. Thank you, Brendan. So Brendan can actually demonstrate within the slides here how you can interact a little bit more with the graphics now, the same way that you'll be able to on the CSC website. So this is our entry-level police data specifically. As Brandon just showed, you can actually click on specific categories to narrow it down and filter by specific ones. So like he had just done with the male category in particular. You can look at the different percentages of the demographics in each category. And these are from Q3, so July up until the end of September, where we are losing individuals in the recruitment process on the left and at each hiring stage in accordance with our hiring ladder. And then on the right, our total year-to-date candidate pool organized by demographic information as well. And Brandon, if you could go to the next slide, please. Well, we are definitely having some technical difficulties here, but
Right.
there we go. It just needs to load. So you'll now see the same information presented for our fire population. So given that that job requisition had closed a bit sooner than the police one, you're not going to see as much recruitment activity during Q3, although we do still have some primarily people dropping out due to voluntary candidate withdrawal or not making it through the commission review or the Department of Safety review at the very end of the process as well. And then again, on the right, you'll see that total year-to-date entry-level candidate pool organized by demographic. And Brandon, if you could go to the next slide. Just give it a second to catch up here.
It's loading.
Thank you. And you'll finally see again the same information for our EMT candidate population. Again, that job requisition had closed a lot sooner than the police one, so there's not as much data to look at for Q3. It's probably our smallest candidate population overall. Anyone that we lost during Q3 was entirely from Department of Safety review. And then again, on the right, you'll see that total year-to-date candidate pool organized by demographic information. And you can go to the last slide, Brandon. So commissioners, any questions about any of that information?
Yeah, I think we've discussed this before. I mean, I guess I would be curious. I mean, some of the folks that exit the process, it's obvious, right? It's not a candidate that should be a cop or a firefighter or EMT in the city of Denver. But I guess the question that I would ask, I'll ask it this way: what can we do? What should we do? And what do we do throughout the process for those candidates that exit the process voluntarily, for whatever reason, to survey those folks? Do we have the ability to do that? Can we do that? Do we do that? Okay, great.
So yes, we have the ability. We built our survey to not be just specific to those people who are selected. It's for anybody who at any point within the process can answer those questions. So from your guys' feedback, we even made improvements on the survey questions. Number two, we have recently made updates on all our communication templates to include the feedback link at the bottom.
Okay.
So now at any time, regardless of like, even when we send them to schedule something, please provide give us your feedback.
Yeah.
So we are doing that now in hopes that people really, provide us with the feedback that we want.
And do you feel like the call to action buttons from a feedback perspective are obvious? And so we're, okay, great.
Yeah, there is some limitations in terms of what we can do with the Workday message templates, but we do have the hyperlink and say the ask
Okay.
in every
Okay.
disqualification message template.
Okay, fantastic. That's great. Okay, great. That helps. All right. Good. That's all I have. All righty. Now we want to look at hearing officers' request for proposals with Diana.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much. Brandon, we have you working really hard today. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Diana. I'm the budget analyst for our agency. Part of my responsibilities include paying all the bills and also procuring a lot of our vendors. And so what we're going to talk about today are our hearing officers, and we're going to be running a request for proposals coming up very soon for that. So next slide, please. So the Civil Service Commission, the three buckets of our work include processing for entry candidates, running promotional exams, and also are responsible for disciplinary appeal hearings. So what happens is if an employee of, or a sworn officer employee in the department, fire or police receives a departmental order of disciplinary action, they have 10 days from the date of that DODA to file the appeal. The appeal is assigned randomly to one of our hearing officers. We currently have 2 hearing officers on a contract, and they've been working for us for almost 10 years. And as far as I can tell, I don't think we've ran this RF or this call for applications since 2015. So today we'll be focusing on the governing rules for this process and the timeline and what commissioners, what you can expect to see in a month or two. Okay, so we'll go to the next slide. The governing documents are charter, section 9.3.7, which outlines the retention of hearing officers by the commission, and Civil Service Commission Rule 14, which just builds on charter in the area of qualifications for hearing officers. So we'll go into the next slide. So charter outlines that we need to have at least 3 hearing officers and more if determined by the commission, and that commission rule can outline the qualifications for those hearing officers. How we go through the selection process is the Civil Service Commission will compile a list of names. 7 is what it outlines. We'll give that list to the manager of safety and the representatives for firefighters and police. They'll be a single entity. They can then strike names off of that list and then rank the order of the candidates that they prefer. And then they'll give those lists back to us. We'll compile them and then award the people who apply that contract. And then it outlines that the designated representatives are the bargaining agents for police officers and firefighters. And so that is all the charter states. So then next slide. Civil Service Commission Rule 14 builds on this a little bit, specifically in section 2 for the qualifications. So they need to have a license to practice law in Colorado. They need to have experience. They need to undergo a background investigation and then review and have final approval by the commission. And then everything that's outlined in charter kicks back in here. So any questions up until this point? Okay, I knew the dry and boring part. What we're gonna do is we're gonna run this call for applications as a RFP, request for proposals, and we're working with General Services Procurement Division to help us with this. Interested individuals will submit a bid. It will include questions mostly focused related to their qualifications, and they will also submit their resumes. And so Brandon, you can go to the next slide now, please. So we're gonna do the RFP. We're gonna have it open for 3 weeks is our plan. And then once that RFP closes, we will review the applicants, ensure they're qualified in one of the ways, start their background investigation. And once those are complete, we will assign them to you commissioners to review their application packets and approve for them to go forward or not. We can also have interviews if you deem necessary. And then you will come up with a list of qualified applicants. We'll submit that list to the Executive Director of Safety and the representatives for the employees. And they'll have 15 days to review and rank or eliminate the applicants. And then once we get those lists back, we'll combine them and finalize the list of contracts to be awarded. And so that is it. I was very fast, so.
It was wonderful, Dan. It was wonderful. Thank you for that.
Any questions? And last slide, is there any questions or suggestions?
What are you paying the hearing officers now?
We are going, what are we paying them now? They are an hourly rate of 67 and some cents. So yes.
And what do you, and have you wondered why you have no applicants for?
Well, part of it is that we haven't ran an application since 2015. So, but yes, we are going to be doing that, and we're not putting a price on the bid. Like they will submit their price on their hourly rate on the bid.
But we have, through research, established what a reasonable rate may look like. And so, like, I want to say too much north of that would be unreasonable, but that's something that, you know, we can't put out there because the bid calls for them to provide us with what their rates are. And so, you know, that'll all depend.
What are the qualifications for them?
Yes, I'm so glad you asked. So there are, the Rule 14 states that they can qualify through 5 areas, and this is very specific and also very general. So one is that they should have served as an administrative law judge or hearing officer or arbitrator within 3 of the last 6 years.
Okay.
The second qualification category is experience practicing law. And that is practicing between federal, state courts, local administrative courts, or local agencies authorized to conduct evidentiary hearings. And at least 1/4 of their practice has involved preparing or presenting cases related to labor or employee-employer relations. So that's 2. The third one is a minimum of 5 years experience as a sitting judge within Denver County Court, State Court, District Court, a State Court of Appeals, or a State Supreme Court, or a federal court. The fourth one is that they're currently under a contract serving as a hearing officer with the Denver Civil Service Commission. And then the fifth one is the open-ended one, where they have a quality, length, and level of experience deemed acceptable to and approved unanimously by the Civil Service Commission Board.
So they don't need to meet all 5. I just want to be clear about
You can meet-
that.
They're one of those
A
guys.
lot more discount. Unicorn.
So it's very open-ended. Once they submit their application, they'll mark off which area they are applying or which qualification they meet. And if it's that fifth one,
Read the 5th one to me again.
yes, quality, length, and level of experience deemed acceptable to and approved unanimously by the Civil Service Commission.
That's
Anything.
some special person who doesn't meet that, right?
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
So there's like the bid includes that question. If you feel that you have another qualification or service, like please tell us about that, and you all will be receiving those applications and reviewing them.
I think that,
Chief Tom.
Yeah.
this is something the call for proposals for the solicitation of application hasn't happened since 2015,
As far as I can tell.
as far as the records could tell us. And so we have historically, and they've done a great job, right? But we need to be compliant to the charter mandated rule of ensuring that we send this out every 3 years. And this is a perfect opportunity to hopefully gain others to be able to get us more diverse hearing officers, if you will, so that in all things appeals and hearings, I think that there's always opportunities for improvement in how we're doing them, which, I think can serve, the departments and the members equally. We'll see. We'll see. Hopefully I see you, Bob, but we didn't put a price on it, so
Yes, we're open.
What about your budget?
it is incorporated in our projection and what the market rate research
What are
we've
you
done.
using as the market rate?
We can't say that because we're in an open bid.
Okay. So tailoring my bid, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just
Suspect. It's not even gonna be close, but okay.
Well, look, at the end of the day, the telling is gonna be the quality of candidates and the number of candidates. That's gonna tell us everything we wanna know.
Yeah,
And
and
so,
And that's part of why we're not setting limits right now ahead of, because once the bid comes in, like, we're gonna need to make the decision based on that as well.
right. So we'll either be happy or we'll be going, we need to rethink this.
Right.
It's gonna be somewhere in those 2 ballparks.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, great. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
All right, now I think we're moving into commissioner review of candidates. Dylan, you're up, and James, you're on, so we're ready to go.
All right, so we'll complete the commission review of candidates and I will take votes in order of the commissioners present. So that will be Commissioner Foster, then Everett, and then Stout. We'll start with candidate 363254.
Yes.
Yes.
yes, sorry.
Candidate 340374.
Yes.
Yes.
No, James?
Sorry.
Yes.
Candidate 365093.
Yes. James?
Yes.
Yes.
Candidate 367510.
Yes.
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 Candidate 329179.
Yes.
Yes.
Hold.
Candidate 369311.
Yes.
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 Candidate 370191.
Yes.
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 Candidate 60102.
Yes.
Hold.
Yes.
Candidate 266832.
Yes.
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 Candidate 277242.
Yes.
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 Candidate 371950.
Yes.
No.
Fail.
No.
No, sorry. Yeah. Sorry.
Candidate 357445.
Yes.
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 Candidate 361162.
Yes.
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 Candidate 361745.
Yes.
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 Candidate 368708.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Candidate 250348.
Yes.
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 Candidate 342740.
Yes.
Yes.
Can you say that again?
342740.
No.
Candidate 366690.
Yes.
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 Candidate 137416.
Yes.
No.
No.
Candidate 205203.
Yes.
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 Candidate 248076.
Yes.
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 Candidate 372134.
Yes.
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 Candidate 372133.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Candidate 329193.
It's in the back.
Yes.
Yes.
Apologies. I watched you flip it, so it wasn't the number.
Oh, 329.
Yeah, so the previous one I said yes on. Sorry, I would change my vote to yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So just to be clear, 372133, you
Yes.
changed your vote to
To a
yes.
yes. And then 329193 vote no.
Candidate 315197.
Yes.
Hold.
Yes.
And candidate 371370.
Hold.
Yes.
Hold.
All right, we have 4 holds. I do not believe we have a sufficient number of commissioners present to go into executive session.
So we will relist these folks onto the next review.
Great. Who's got commission review candidates?
Okay, and we don't have any other agenda items. Okay, I'll give you a last call for public comments. If anyone has any comments, please chime in. All right, seeing no hands, we appreciate everyone's attendance today, and I think this is going to get us to adjournment. All righty, we are officially adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, everyone.
Do we need a motion to adjourn, Bob?
Never hurts.
Okay.
Motion.
James,
Yes,
Seconded.
I second that.
favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're officially adjourned. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.